Thank you so much for coming back to Sarita Talks. Once more, we have some awesome people talking about some awesome things, and it is just my genuine pleasure to be the gracious host of such a show that can tackle just an immense amount of issues. However, we also get to highlight things that you might not have thought of, things that are surrounding wellness. So I'll introduce my guest, but as you see the TEDx shirt, I am a TEDx speaker. So if you get a chance, look up, are you opening doors or are you closing them? I'm very proud of that. And I'm also super excited to hear from Trisha Dietrich, who is from Sacred Source Studios. Trisha, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
I am a visionary artist, and I like to call myself a channel and a guide. So I help people with heal subconscious beliefs and things that might be driving their lives. And I do this and I help them connect to their intuition by the way of drawing and painting and creativity.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when you're guiding them through this drawing and painting and activity, would you say that maybe it is addressing trauma at the same time?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of trauma bubbles up, and it's actually really powerful work because of that. And the reason why it bubbles up is because we're getting past the logical problem solving parts of our brain by using creative methods. To get underneath and tap into the subconscious. So these creative methods are combined with methods of drawing and writing and journaling. So it's a balance. It balances the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. But what is different and what stands out in this work compared to other life coaching or transformational coaching processes is the creative processes that are woven into all of these different methods.
That's super poignant, because a lot of people, I'm sure, already know, and if you don't, your subconscious has a lot to do with your behaviors here in the conscious world. Would you agree?
I do. And I think that people have the idea of emotions. They're not diving deep enough into that. I believe that emotions that are hard to deal with, anger, jealousy, rage, all of that, shame, a lot of people try to make those the bad things, right?
Yeah.
And say, like, that is, they put a label on those emotions.
Yeah.
But I think that if we can just dive a little bit deeper, those emotions are a primal way of our intuition telling us what we need. Those emotions are driven by beliefs that we have embedded into our psyches, and a lot of those beliefs may be the result of traumas.
Now, would you say that, like, you're telling people it's okay to feel your feelings?
Yes, I help them feel their feelings in a very cathartic way that is safe and on the canvas. So basically, like, this was a big process that I did. I do these processes myself first as well.
Good.
This is me connecting to the divine masculine archetypal energies within me. Like, everyone has an idea of what masculine means, right? And I just spent a couple weeks really figuring out what that meant for me. And what it means for me is it helps put form around the places that I like to flow, around creative flow. I have boundaries around that. I'm able to have a direction in life and take action on the things that I'm dreaming about. That's the divine masculine within me. But there's a lot of beliefs that I had around, specifically around money, sex, and what was the other one? Time. That I just taken from my life experience and created beliefs around that I thought affected me. And I really didn't know until I started painting and kind of diving into feeling a lot of shame and a lot of a lot of anger.
Let's unpack some of that.
Yeah.
So I really like that you were able to identify those three things. And it was, if I'm correct, it was time, sex, and money. So pick one of the three, and I'm pretty sure time. That's what I want. That's the three. That's one of them. So tell me about time, and then we'll go on to the other two.
Well, time had a lot to do with feeling productive, right?
Yes.
So just my life, I worked very hard and was able to work really hard and play really hard until I was in my early 30s. I had a job that paid my bills and decent career, and all that just fell apart. The platform that I was standing on and the life that I had built just fell apart beneath me because I was ill and I could not physically do the demands of my job. Okay. I had to rely on people to help me. And so I had to learn how to ask for help. But because I couldn't work to make money, this is tying into money, but me not working and not being productive in the time that I had and just allowing myself to have open time to relax and heal, I had the belief that people that just don't work and sit around and relax and heal are worthless.
Or lazy.
Yes. A belief that either I picked up or I experienced that just growing up,
Well, like I'm going to stop you. You're not the only one. And I feel like a lot of people that are used to functioning on a higher level, like, I can work 3 jobs. Now, will I be exhausted? Yes. But will I also feel accomplished and feel as though, hey, and then I will, on that downtime and the off chance I have a few hours, I'm thinking, what could I be doing? What could I be doing? What could I be doing? And I'll have to consciously tell myself, you're relaxing. That's what you're doing. You're relaxing, but I don't know if something in my mind, and we're not the only ones, Trisha, where time is, if you're not using it to be doing something, somehow it's wasted. And I don't believe that to be true. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I've traveled to other places in the world and talked to people from different countries and about this, because their use of time, I've just noticed more, they're in the places that I was, they're okay not doing anything.
Yes, so, because they're actually in the moment.
Yes.
They're in that moment.
And what was really profound for me to hear from them was that it is a belief in America that time is money.
Yes. Now you went ahead and tied money into there. So tell us about how you're healing and how you're helping others to get over that hump of time and money.
Well, what I've learned just by the way that I'm built is that to be the most productive and to make the most money is to really, when I'm starting a new creative endeavor, I created a new course based on this process with the Divine Masculine. And in order to really be creative and tap into something that's going to be healing and effective for others, I have to be willing to surrender and be in the belly of nothingness and be in the belly of a void where time is going by and I am free of any obligations, of any idea of busy work, so that I can receive the healing that I need and then have enough space to provide that healing for others.
Nice. And I like it that these are things that you're doing yourself, because people really can't teach unless they've done it themselves. Yes. Ryan Smith, I see you're on Facebook and you threw a like out there. I appreciate it. If anybody wants to throw a comment in, I will definitely have Trisha address it and tell us about whatever it is you have to ask. We're really talking about wholeness and wellness and well-being. And I actually was at an event where Trisha was at. It was the Wholeness 8 Summit. I was so blessed to be the keynote speaker, and we connected so we could talk about, it's really a holistic thing. My mantra is triumph over adversity. Nothing can stop us unless we let it. And I really feel like there was a third point, that sex issue, and we will come back to that in another show, because I really feel like there's so much in what you just said about our thinking in this country is you're lazy if you don't work with every moment of your time. And how could you enjoy yourself if you haven't put in all that work? And then money, someone had to tell me money is energy.
Yes.
You know, and we're using money. And, this is a big falsehood. A lot of people say the Bible says money is the root of all evil. No, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And it also says that money is a protection. So tell me some of these thoughts that you were having about money and how you were able to address them.
Well, because the thoughts about money were interesting for me, because I have done so much of this work, and it's brought me so much abundance. So even though I could not work for a living, so much abundance came to me. It came to me through the support of other people, but it came in a surprising way from people that they saw me and my husband working really hard, and they were inspired to support us. And that's how my whole identity as an artist started. I had an idea of making an art show. I had never done any of this stuff before. I was a medical professional. And people liked the idea. They got inspired, and then people just came, and like one of the people that was part of the show just happened to have a professional catering company. So they donated their time. People donated a lot of time and energy to support my idea. Now, had I never expressed it to them, had I never had the courage to do that, that idea would never have happened, and I wouldn't be here where I was today. But it's hard for me, I'm used to earning money, you got to earn a living to be worthy. And so I had to overcome a lot of guilt of people donating their time and energy to your mission, your vision, but knowing that it was feeding them in some way, and really recognizing that within them, I had to really learn how to receive a lot of financial support, emotional support, and physical support for when I literally couldn't move or couldn't do things. And so I felt really worthless for a long time. Because I couldn't work a 40-hour-a-week job, and I couldn't, developing these ideas takes time, but it doesn't make money right away.
Right. Trisha, I'm going to stop you. It sounds like you had a little pride, and that pride was getting in the way of you accepting others wanting to do something nice. And I tell people all the time, because it's hard to humble yourself and ask for things. As a lot of people know, I am renewed into this free world, and a lot of people wanted to help me. And I was just like, that's not my testimony. I will work.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are blocking other people's blessings. If someone wants to help you, allow them to, because that makes them feel good, as well as it's serving a need. And I just really had to realize that was nothing but pride standing in the way of me actually letting someone help me to get to where this vision and mission would eventually become. So once you were able to cuddle that and embrace it and make it work for you, how did that transcend into some of the curriculum and things that you're writing? I want to definitely talk about the fact that you have curriculum.
Yes. Okay. So, and also I think that what was fueling that pride was also what you talked about in that Wholeness 8 Summit, which was so amazing, was imposter syndrome. Like, well, how can I possibly be worthy enough to even be helpful to you? Like, I can't, I'm not contributing to society in the ways that people that work to earn a living are doing so. So just donate, so that I had to really change that around as well. And
a lot of times we feel like we don't want charity. But here's the thing, when you're at your lowest, sometimes you need a hand up, not a hand out. And I love that.
Yeah. And just nobody would be, you look at any success story and they had helping hands along the way. They had a lot of hard work, but they also had helping hands. So just, I had to really acknowledge that for myself. And the curriculum that I have built, I'm at a pivotal point in this curriculum that I'm very excited about, because I'm offering a lot of different things. And just with this painting process, and it made me realize that I'm pulling everything in, and I'm creating a trademarked program that's more like one big offering that incorporates all the smaller things that I'm doing. So the 3 steps in my curriculum are connect, create, and embody. And so the first step is connect. And I use very simple methods of creativity, drawing, painting, and doodling, although I have worked with people who are professional musicians. Nice. So this can apply to any creative method. This can apply to playing music. This can apply, to graphic design. It can apply to cooking dinner. Any type of thing that you're creating, this can apply to. But I use creative methods for people to make a connection to something within themselves, whether it is their intuition, whether it is their inner inspiration. And the source of that inspiration is an archetype that I call the muse, their creative inspiration. Whether it is like the Medusa, like the power.
Speaking of which, tell us about these events you have coming up, and then we'll get right back to it.
Okay, so I'm super excited because, next weekend I'm teaching a class on the divine masculine, on painting to create your own divine masculine. That class came about from an individual coaching client who was transitioning from the gender of a woman to a man, and they painted the man that they were becoming. And I was really hesitant on taking on this position of coaching because I'm not transitioning. But I gave it a go, and it was a successful program. They had a lot of benefits from that painting process.
Nice.
What I gained from it was a painting of my divine masculine energies within me. I had to tap into that in order to help them tap into that energy that was coming out of them and embodying them in a new way.
It seems like with that statement, you have some really versatile clientele. There are a lot of people who are coming to you to unpack things that maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable in other settings. Do you feel like you're able to foster really safe spaces for people that might not feel as though they can have them in other places? So, and you've got this event coming up this weekend. Tell them where you're at and how they can get a hold of you.
So this event is in my home teaching space. Sacred Source Studios is the name of the spaces that I teach in. It's a home studio space, and you can reach me through, there's a Facebook event for this, or you can check out all of my events on my website.
Nice. But the Medusa, I got us way off track. So tell us about Medusa. Okay.
So Medusa is going to be a weekend long retreat that I am doing at the end of October. And I've taught this retreat twice, and it's been very powerful for women. So it's almost, it's really diving into the divine feminine, but into the aspect of the divine feminine that is a powerful initiatory goddess, the initiatory goddess within us, the part of us that is not warm and fuzzy and welcoming and loving and all-encompassing and loving, the one that makes people get reality checks, that sets boundaries, that has the power to turn things to stone, to freeze them in their tracks.
That sounds really deep. That does. That sounds really, really deep.
There's a lot of depth to that. I do a lot of energy work and shamanic journey work through. I'm also that's where the medium and the guide, and I'm a psychic. I do psychic readings. All of these things are woven into this painting process. So basically, I lead people on a shamanic journey to find their own inner Medusa.
Wow. Okay. So where did you get the idea that this was something that you wanted to definitely build a curriculum upon and have a retreat? Was there an experience that led you towards that?
That energy just called to me.
Wow.
And it called to me through an individual client.
Okay.
That was having some difficulties with her mother. And then I did some research because she was doing Jungian analysis. So
you're going to have to break that down for the viewers because you blew me away too. Yeah, what is that?
Therapy is just a therapy that's been developed by Carl Jung, and he works a lot with dreams and archetypes and
Okay.
the subconscious.
Well,
And
I'll go
so,
ahead and throw in there. Well, I am a spiritual person as well. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. And I also believe that there are a lot of times that he will send you a message through somebody
yes,
else. I also believe that there are a lot of times that we can have a thought in our mind and it did not originate from us. You know, I'm a big fan of the Holy Spirit, and I'm a big fan of being in touch with something that is greater than yourself. You know, I feel like if you ever get to the point where you're completely self-reliant, and I tell my son this, who do you call out to when you're in distress?
yeah.
Yeah. So you had a client come in, and through her experiences and her trauma, you came up with curriculum. That's awesome.
Yeah, curriculum for Medusa, and it had to do with this archetype. So it's archetypes are like mother is an archetype, father. Archetypes are labels that all of humanity has, and they exist in every language. But they mean something different to the individual, and they're very
like patriarchy and matriarchy.
Yes, they're like whole worlds within themselves, and it's really the reason why I dive into my own archetypes is because that's where I find all the myths and the stories. You have the myth from above Medusa of many of these archetypes from just mythology.
Yeah.
And from human collective, people have their own generalized ideas of what all that is, but it's not until you can really go and find that energy within you and see what your own stories are.
And it seems like you're really helping people to get a good grasp on self. Am I right by saying that?
All about self, yes.
That's right. So when you're out here and you're doing these creative activities, and say you have people and you have clients in your studio, what are some of the mantras that you're telling them as they're, you know, as they're embracing themselves and they're getting ready to embark on this journey of self-awareness? What are some of the things that you want a client to hear from you?
I want them to really hear and know that they're safe working with me.
Nice.
So there's a lot of things that I put in place for that, so that they feel comfortable enough to relax into this energy. Right. I tell them a lot of literal research-oriented things and have them write and do that, so that these parts of our brain that are usually in the driver's seat feel comfortable enough to put down the pen and get in the back seat and let their subconscious mind drive the show. And in order to do that, someone has to feel really safe. And I feel like you have to be trained to get them there. Okay. It's not an automatic process. It's a process that you have to allow time and energy for. But one of the most poignant things that I tell all people, and the reason why they should do this work if they're drawn to do it, is that the most important conversations that you're ever going to have in your whole lifetime are the ones that you have with yourself.
That's right. And I'm glad that you incorporate journaling, because I really feel like it is not only a lost art, but if you want to make something happen, write it down and look at it. It's just like setting goals. It really is. And, you know, a lot of people have a lot of different names for it, but there is there's a large power to tap into in that subconscious when you physically write it down. So I assume you're a journaler.
Oh yes, I'll show you.
Please do.
Workshops. So
nice.
They're made in this way I'll show you some.
Yes, please do. Now, while she's gone, I want you to check out her website, Sacred Source Studios. Her name's Trisha Dietrich. She's here in Columbia, Missouri, and we're so glad to have her on. Thank you for coming back. And I guess I'll say it, like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so Trisha, show us the journal and tell us about the next workshop too.
Yeah, so these are the journals. This is my money journal. So
yeah.
This is a very quick drawing process that I teach.
It looks a little like Picasso.
Do what?
I said it looks a little like Picasso. Like Picasso.
Yeah, anybody can do this. It's nice. Step, slowly. So I do longer painting processes, but I also teach 20-minute, very quick drawing and journaling processes that anybody could do despite their idea of how talented they are artistically.
Yeah, yeah.
And in here, this is just to tap you into the energy of money, because it's more than just, words, right? The energy has form and color, and that's unique within every individual. So every individual will have in my classes, they will be putting color and form to this energy within them so that they can have a deeper connection with.
Nice. Now, what drew you to art? What drew you to art and creativity? I
was always an artistic child, so people would bring me art supplies, like for gifts and stuff. But I never got art lessons were pretty expensive, and we just didn't. That wasn't an option for me growing up, really, to take a bunch of art or dance or any of that. It just wasn't on the table.
Yeah.
So I was good at art and I was good at science. I went into the medical field because there was a clear career path for that. There wasn't so much for art in the 90s, but I kept doing art. And it wasn't until I wasn't able to walk that I started taking art classes. But then I learned about this intentional creativity method, which is the way of tapping in and using creativity as more than just something to do for joy or for fun or to make a pretty picture or to hone your techniques and get really good at making art. It taught me how to use it as a way to manifest my dreams. And my dreams were simple. I just wanted to walk down the street again. Like, they were not complicated.
Yeah.
Just have a normal life again. So I really dove into this because I had a lot of time and space to do it. And I had no idea what my life was going to be like. And then things started happening that I didn't even expect. I had this art show and it ended up being bigger than I ever thought. I just wanted to do fun, but it changed my identity overnight. People started calling me an artist, and
I love that.
And then people were having healing experiences that were doing this with me, and I didn't know how to hold it. I didn't know how to hold their experiences, but I was provoking them, and I felt the responsibility to get certified as an intentional creativity teacher and coach.
I love that. Yeah.
I was offering value to people, and people's lives were changing like mine, but I wanted to be able to hold all of that for them and not just give them this experience that made them walk away feeling even more traumatized.
Oh, of course not. And a lot of times people, they'll help you dig something up, but they don't help you to smooth out that land and make it to where you can walk over it. So I'm glad you realize the importance of that. And you're also giving that to your clients. It seems like you're coming from a place of gratitude as well. Like, you know what it was like to, have an illness and need others, and they really showed up for you. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, because I was in a place where, and I feel like it doesn't really matter what your life circumstances. I heard your story and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is I've never experienced anything close to what you did when you went to prison. But
you were in a physical.
I felt imprisoned in my own body, which is a different experience, like very different, but then still something that
Similar.
I connected to, which made me reach out to you.
Thank you. Yes. Because, and I think I say that too, if you were anything like me when I was in prison, if you're in a physical prison, if you're in a spiritual prison, if you're in, an environmental, you want out. Because trust me, I wanted out. So, I mean, and dealing with illness, I know I'm a caregiver. My mom is 72 and she battles with, chronic back pain. And I don't understand that chronic back pain and how that feels for her. And I know if she could find a way out of that, she would. So a lot of people are just battling so many different demons and just, personal issues to have someone, and they welcome you into your home, which is an intimate place, Sacred Source Studios, and really is helping you to unpack that trauma and realizes, hey, I don't want you to leave. And have that with you. That's awesome. Now, once more though, tell us how to get a hold of you.
So I have a website. It's actually trishadietrich.com. I was
Okay.
Sacred Source Studios, but people couldn't remember that, but they remembered my name. So I changed it to trishadietrich.com.
Okay.
And all of my classes for the year are in my shop. Actually, it says in-person classes.
Okay, great.
I have a couple online classes available too, and they are variable price ranges. The
Nice.
prices are on purpose because I don't want someone diving into a painting process like this because it was affordable for them, because this is a lot of energy and a lot of healing. So my other classes, like my journal making classes, are more affordable.
Mhm.
And I have some free classes on my YouTube channel as well.
Nice. Tell us the YouTube channel. How do we get there?
So if you just go to my website, in the footer of my website, you'll find my Facebook and my Instagram and my YouTube. Or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Trisha Dietrich of Sacred Source Studios.
I love it. I love it. Well, we've got the big event coming up at the end of October, the Medusa event. You've got some workshops going on. We need everybody to go to your website. Yes, and check it out. She's doing some awesome things. She's addressing some issues, and everybody can learn from introspection.
Yeah, and if there are also any corporations or companies that think that these would be useful to clarify the vision of their company, this kind of work is very useful because you will get creative, innovative solutions to problems that you just can't get to when you're thinking them through and writing them through.
Little B2B and B2C. I love it.
Right. And also just I also want to serve more organizations, nonprofit organizations, and people that are either caregivers or helping other people. This is a great way to alleviate burnout. People love my painting classes for that. And also it's a great way to help people that are in a situation that's really hard find their way through in a very non-conventional way, because while you're drawing and painting, you're not thinking.
I love it. I love it.
Your nervous system is calmer. It has a lot of proven scientific, neurological benefits to doing this, and it's unique. So
very much so. Very much so. So if you want to tap into your creative side and at the same time learn about yourself, Sacred Source Studios, that's trishadietrich.com, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, can't wait to see you next week. And Trisha, I can't wait to welcome you back. Take care.